Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Hub. It's David here, coming to you from our cozy little studio in sunny Los Angeles, California. And as always, I'm joined by the amazing Jessica.
Hi, everyone. It's great to have you here with us again. I hope you're feeling relaxed and ready for another fun episode. And yes, before you even think about it, this is not going to be a boring grammar class.
Exactly. You know, grammar sometimes sounds like this scary tiger, all serious with sharp rules and too many exceptions. But hey, we're not going to fight the tiger today. We're just going to make friends with it.
I like that image, making friends with grammar. That's so much better than trying to survive it.
Right? And today's tiger, or, well, today's guest star, is the present perfect tense. Yeah, the one that often makes people scratch their heads and say, wait, do I say I've done or I did?
Oh yes, that classic confusion. But before we dive into that, let's set the mood a bit. Because here at the English Hub, we believe learning English should feel like chatting with friends, not like sitting in a cold classroom under a flickering light.
Absolutely. So, wherever you are right now, maybe you're driving, walking your dog, cooking dinner, or even trying to fall asleep, we've got you covered. Just relax and let us do the talking. You can even just listen in the background.
Or maybe grab a nice warm cup of tea or coffee and make yourself comfortable.
Or, if you're like me, you might want to grab something more serious, like a big burger, a box of sushi rolls, maybe some fries, or a sandwich with a crispy crust, ham, and door blue sauce. Oh man, I'm hungry already.
And you always get hungry during our broadcasts. I think one day we'll need to record an episode in a restaurant just to keep you happy.
That's not a bad idea, Jess. Imagine, welcome to the English Hub, broadcasting live from the Burger Corner.
I can already hear the sound of fries sizzling in the background. But all right, let's not make our listeners hungry too.
Fair point. Sorry, everyone. Grab your snack of choice and let's make today's topic, the present perfect, as tasty as possible.
That's right. You might have heard about this tense before. Maybe in school, maybe in a grammar book that made your eyes glaze over. But today, we're going to talk about it like normal people. Real examples, real situations, real English.
Exactly. Because the present perfect isn't just about strange grammar rules, it's about life experiences, things you've done, things that have happened, and how the past connects with now.
Nicely said, David. It's actually one of my favorite tenses because it tells stories, your stories. Every I've been to Paris, or I've just finished my homework, or I've never tried sushi before says something about who you are.
Oh, now you've said sushi again. Jess, you're making me think about food again.
Okay, I'll stop. But you see what I mean. The present perfect is personal. It helps you talk about your experiences, what's new, what's just happened, and what still matters right now.
That's true. So, if you've ever said something like, I've learned a lot of English, or I've lost my keys, or even I've just ordered pizza, then congratulations, you've already used the present perfect.
Exactly. And you didn't even have to think about grammar rules while doing it. It just happened naturally.
And that's our goal today, to help you feel the present perfect, not just memorize it.
Yes, to understand it in a simple, friendly way so that next time you talk to someone, it'll sound completely natural.
Perfect. So grab your tea, your coffee, or your snack, maybe even a whole pizza, and get ready to join us on this little grammar adventure.
Because this is the English Hub, where English learning feels like having a great conversation with friends.
And where grammar tigers turn into cute kittens.
Oh, I love that. Okay, let's jump right in and talk about what this present perfect actually means and how we use it in real life.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get started. So today's guest, or should I say today's grammar superstar, is the present perfect tense. And honestly, it deserves some applause. Because even though people sometimes get confused by it, it's actually one of the most interesting and useful tenses in English.
I agree. It's like that quiet person at a party who doesn't talk much at first, but once you get to know them, you realize they've got great stories to tell.
That's such a perfect comparison. The present perfect is exactly like that. It helps you talk about things that connect the past and the present. So it's not completely about the past and it's not fully about now. It's that bridge between them.
Right. Imagine you've built a little bridge from what has happened before to how it matters now. That's the present perfect, the bridge tense.
Yes, and that's why it's called present perfect. People sometimes ask, but why present if it's about the past? Well, it's because the focus is on now, on the results or experience that's relevant at this moment.
Yes. For example, if I say, I've eaten too much, it's not just about what happened in the past. It means that right now I feel full and maybe a little sleepy.
Or I've watched 5 episodes of my favorite show, which means that you've done that in the past, but now you probably should go outside and see the sun again.
Hey, I've done that before. I've spent an entire Sunday just watching sports and eating fries. But see, there's the present perfect again. I've spent, not I spent, because I'm focusing on the experience, not on when it happened.
Yes. So the main idea of this tense is very simple. It's for actions or experiences that happened before now, but we don't say when exactly because the time isn't important. What matters is the result or the experience itself.
Right. If someone asks, have you ever tried sushi? They don't care about the date or a place. They just want to know whether that experience is part of your life so far.
Yes, and I love questions like that because they make conversations more personal. It's a way to connect with people, like, have you ever been to New York? Or have you ever met a celebrity? Or have you ever sung karaoke at 2 a.m.?
Oh, I've done that last one for sure. I've embarrassed myself many times with karaoke.
I believe you. But you know, that's the magic of this tense. It lets you share those life stories, those I've done this or I've never done that moments.
Yes. So if we were to give it a rating in the world of English tenses, like a popularity chart, I'd say the present perfect is definitely in the top 5.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most used and useful tenses in everyday English, especially in conversations.
I'd say it's kind of like the Spotify top hits of grammar. You can't go through a day speaking English without using it at least a few times, especially if you talk about things you have done or haven't done yet.
Oh, absolutely. The Spotify top hits of grammar. I love that. And it's true. You'll hear the present perfect all the time in daily speech, movies, interviews, even on social media. People say, I've just seen that movie, or I've finished work, or I've lost my phone. It's everywhere.
So if we had to answer that question quickly, what is the present perfect for? The short answer would be it's used to talk about things that happened before now, but are still important or connected to the present.
Yes, it's your way of saying something from the past still matters right now.
Nicely put. So basically, it's not about time, it's about relevance.
Yes, and that's why it's one of my favorite tenses. It's emotional, meaningful, and perfect for storytelling.
And for food, storytelling too, right? Like, I've already eaten all the fries.
Oh, David, of course you had to bring food into it. But yes, even that's present perfect.
See, grammar and food, a perfect match.
All right, so that's the heart of the present perfect. It's not scary, it's not complicated. It's just a way to connect your past experiences to your present life.
Yes, and once you think of it that way, it suddenly makes sense, and it becomes one of the most natural tenses to use.
Couldn't agree more, David. So now that we know the present perfect is like that bridge between past and present, let's talk about when we actually use it. Because let's be honest, that's where learners usually start to panic a little.
Oh, yes, I've seen that look before. Wait, should I say I did it or I've done it face? It's the classic English confusion.
Exactly. But don't worry, everyone. It's not as mysterious as it seems. So let's start with the most common use. When we talk about life experiences, things that have happened to you at some point in your life, but you don't say when.
Yes, like I've traveled to Japan. You're not saying when, just that it's something that's happened in your life.
Right, or I've met my favorite actor. The time isn't important. What's important is that it happened and it's part of your life experience.
Exactly. And notice the emotional tone here. It's kind of proud or excited. Like, hey, I've done this. There's always a little sparkle in your voice when you say it.
True. It's the look at me, I've experienced life tense. So that's the first case, life experiences.
The second one is what I like to call the news update use. When something has just happened or is recently completed, you'll often hear words like just, already, or yet with it.
Yes, like I've just finished my coffee, or I've already sent the email. It's for those moments when something happened a moment ago and it still feels fresh.
Exactly. It's like breaking news from your life. This just in, I've finally done the laundry.
Or breaking news, I've cleaned the cat's litter box.
Wow, thrilling updates from the English Hub.
We're really living exciting lives here. But yes, that's the emotional mood of that case, the sense of freshness, immediacy, and result. You're focusing on what just changed in your present.
Now, another common use, and one I find really logical, is when something started in the past and continues until now.
Yes, that's when you'll often hear since or for. For example, I've lived in Los Angeles for 5 years. Or she's worked at that company since 2020.
Exactly. This one gives that feeling of duration, something ongoing, something still true now. It's not finished.
Yes, the emotional mood here is I've been doing this and I'm still doing it. Like it gives a sense of continuity and stability.
Right. So if you say, I've taught English for 10 years, it means you started in the past and you're still teaching.
Yes, but if you said, I taught English for 10 years, that means it's over. You're not doing it anymore.
Exactly. And that's one of the key differences between the present perfect and the past simple. The present perfect has that little emotional connection to the now.
Beautifully said. And we're not done yet. There's also the use for results in the present. That's when something you did in the past has a visible or important effect now.
Yes, like I've lost my keys. It's not about when. The main point is that right now, you can't open your door.
Exactly. Or I've broken my phone. The breaking happened earlier, but the result, a sad broken phone, is what matters at this moment.
That's such a dramatic example. I could almost hear someone shouting, I've broken my phone, like it's the end of the world.
Honestly, for some people it is the end of the world. But yes, that's the mood. Strong emotion, frustration, surprise, or relief. It's the result mood. Something has changed your current reality.
I like that. Result mood. It's emotional, dramatic, and very human.
And one more, the repetition or unfinished time period case. We use the present perfect when we talk about things that happened several times up to now or during a time that hasn't ended yet.
Right. Like, I've watched that movie 3 times this week. The week isn't over yet, so there's still a chance you'll watch it again.
Yes, or I've eaten pizza twice today. It's still today, so technically there's room for round 3.
Oh, I like that logic. I've lived by that logic.
I believe you completely. So to sum up so far, we use the present perfect to talk about life experiences, recent actions, ongoing situations, results, and repeated actions in unfinished time periods.
Perfect. And the emotional moods that go with those are curiosity or pride for experiences, freshness for recent actions, calmness or patience for ongoing ones, drama for results, and maybe a bit of guilt for repetitions.
Yes, like, I've eaten too many cookies today. That's definitely the guilt mood.
Oh yes, the I've done something delicious but dangerous mood.
Exactly. But you see, that's what makes the present perfect special. It's full of life. It's not a cold or robotic tense. It expresses feelings, change, growth, surprise, regret, joy, all those things that make conversations sound real.
I love that. Grammar with personality. So if anyone ever says the present perfect is boring, they just haven't met it properly.
Absolutely. Once you get to know it, you realize it's one of the most expressive and flexible tenses in English.
And, might I add, one of the tastiest too, since apparently all our examples involve food.
True. Okay, so now that we've looked at when and how it's used, let's move on to how it's formed, the structure, the helping verb, and those little tricky details people often mix up.
Perfect. Or should I say, present perfect.
Nice one. All right, let's dive in.
All right, so let's get into the nuts and bolts, how to build the present perfect tense. Because understanding what it means is one thing, but knowing how to form it correctly is where the real magic happens.
Absolutely. And luckily, the structure of this tense is not as scary as it sounds. Once you understand the basic formula, it's really easy to use it with any subject.
Yes, so the formula for a present perfect sentence, an affirmative one, meaning a normal statement, is subject plus have or has plus past participle. That's it. 3 simple pieces.
Yes, have or has are the auxiliary verbs or helping verbs. They help the main verb form this tense.
Right. And the past participle? That's the third form of a verb. For regular verbs, it usually ends with ed, like worked, played, watched. For irregular verbs, it changes in special ways like done, gone, eaten, seen, written, and so on.
Yes, and here's a tip for learners. Don't panic about all the irregular verbs. You use the most common ones all the time, and the more you speak and listen to English, the more natural they'll become.
Yes. So let's build some examples using our formula. For example, I have finished my homework. That's with I, so we use have.
Right. And if the subject changes, the auxiliary verb might too. For example, with he or she, we use has instead of have. So he has finished his homework.
Yes, the same rule applies to it as well. He, she, it all take has. He has eaten breakfast. She has gone to work. It has rained all day.
Yes, and with plural subjects, we go back to have again. We have watched a movie. They have visited Paris. You have improved your English.
Perfect. So it's basically I, you, we, they referred to have, he, she, it referred to has.
Yes, and the word order is really simple too. In an affirmative sentence, it always goes like this. Subject plus have or has plus past participle plus object or other words.
Yes, the order never changes. So you'd say, I have cleaned my room. She has bought a new car. They have learned a lot today. Nice and simple.
And the important thing to remember is that have or has comes right after the subject, never at the end, never somewhere in the middle.
Yes, don't say things like, I cleaned have my room. That's a total grammar disaster.
Oh, yes. Grammar police would be on their way immediately. But it's actually a common mistake, especially for learners whose native language puts the auxiliary in a different place.
That's true. But once you memorize that word order, subject, have or has, past participle, you're golden.
Also, it's worth noting that have and has are not the same as to have, meaning to possess.
Right. That's a good point. For example, I have a dog means you own a dog. That's not the present perfect. But I have adopted a dog. That is present perfect because it's an action connected to the present.
Yes, that's why context is everything.
So let's summarize a few examples with different subjects again. I have eaten lunch. He has read that book. They have started a new job. We have cleaned the house. You have tried sushi.
Nice variety there. And if you listen closely, you can hear how the auxiliary have or has kind of joins with the subject in fast speech. For example, people often say, I've eaten, he's read, they've started.
Yes, that's such an important detail. Contractions are super common in spoken English. I've, you've, we've, they've, and he's, she's, it's.
Right. But careful. he's can also mean he is, depending on the sentence. So he's happy means he is happy, but he's finished means he has finished.
Yes, one sound, two meanings. That's why you have to pay attention to context.
Always. So to wrap this part up, the present perfect statement formula is simple. Subject plus have or has plus past participle. The mood is confident and factual, and the word order never changes.
Yep, no gymnastics here. The words stay in their neat little line.
Yes, and once you get used to that structure, you can build all kinds of sentences naturally.
Perfect. So now that we've got the formula and word order down, I think it's time to talk about how to make questions and negatives, because that's where things start to get interesting.
Ooh, yes, let's flip the order a bit and make it fun.
Let's not break the order of our podcast series about tenses, and now let's talk about how to make negative sentences in the present perfect tense. Because after learning how to make a statement like, I've done my homework, the next logical step is learning how to say, nope, I haven't done it yet.
Yes, because let's be honest, sometimes we just haven't done things yet. We haven't finished the report, we haven't cleaned the kitchen, we haven't started our workout, and that's okay.
Yes, it's the most realistic part of English grammar.
So, how do we form the negative? Very simple. You just add not after have or has.
That's right. The formula looks like this. Subject plus have or has plus not plus past participle.
Yes, for example, I have not eaten breakfast. He has not finished his homework. They have not visited us this year.
Perfect examples. And in spoken English, we almost always use the contractions, like I haven't eaten breakfast. He hasn't finished his homework. They haven't visited us this year.
Yes, contractions sound much more natural. In fact, if you say, I have not eaten breakfast out loud, it sounds like you're making a dramatic speech from a historical movie. Like, I have not eaten breakfast for 3 days. It sounds like something from an old Shakespeare play.
Yes, so in normal modern English, say haven't and hasn't. The meaning, of course, is simple. The action has not happened up to now.
Yes, and we often use words like yet and still in negative sentences to make the meaning clearer. For example, I haven't done my homework yet. She hasn't called me yet. They still haven't arrived.
Right, yet shows that you expect the action to happen later. And still adds a bit of frustration, like, they still haven't arrived.
Yes, that emotional touch again. The present perfect isn't just grammar, it's how you express feelings about unfinished things.
Yes. Now, let's talk about some typical mistakes learners make with negatives. One of the biggest ones is forgetting the auxiliary verb have or has.
Yes, that's so common. People say things like, I not finished, or he not done it, but that's incorrect. You need the helper verb. It's the backbone of the tense.
Yes, so always remember, I have not finished. He has not done it. Without have or has, the sentence falls apart.
Another common mistake is mixing it with the past simple. For example, someone might say, I didn't done my homework, which is a mix of tenses. Didn't is past simple, and done is the past participle from the present perfect.
Oh yes, that's like grammar soup, everything mixed together.
The correct versions would either be, I didn't do my homework, if it's past simple, or I haven't done my homework, if it's present perfect.
Yes, so remember, choose one structure, don't mix them. And there's another small but important mistake, using hasn't with plural subjects. People sometimes say, they hasn't arrived, but it should be, they haven't arrived.
Right. That's why it's so important to remember the rule. I, you, we, they have or haven't. He, she, it has or hasn't.
Yes, and that's true for positive, negative, and question forms. The auxiliary always matches the subject.
Also, don't forget pronunciation. In natural speech, haven't and hasn't are said very quickly, like haven't or hasn't. Learners sometimes skip the NT completely, and that changes the meaning completely.
Yes, I've heard people say, I have finished, when they meant I haven't finished. Big difference. One gets you a gold star and the other gets you more homework.
Very true. So to sum it up, the formula is subject plus have or has plus not plus past participle. Use haven't or hasn't in conversation and never forget the helper verb.
Yes, it's one of those simple but powerful patterns that works every time. Once you've learned it, you'll never get lost in grammar again. Or at least not in this tense.
Let's hope so. Okay, now that we've mastered negatives, I think it's time to flip the sentence again and talk about questions in the present perfect.
Oh yes, my favorite part. Because questions in this tense are actually quite easy once you know the trick.
Wait, David, hold on. You've just mentioned a trick about questions in present perfect, and you can't just drop a mysterious trick and move on. Our listeners will hunt us down. So tell us, what exactly did you mean?
Yes, the legendary trick. And it's actually pretty simple. Every present perfect question must start with have or has. If your question doesn't begin with one of those two words, congratulations, you've officially built the wrong tense.
Exactly. And the funny part is that learners often know this, but when they're stressed, they still start with the subject. You have ever been to London? Nope, nope, nope. Delete that from your memory.
Oh yes, classic. The correct version is, have you ever been to London? Auxiliary verb have or has, then the subject, then the past participle. Been, seen, done, eaten, all those beautiful third forms.
So let's actually break it down clearly. In present perfect questions, the structure is have, has, plus subject, plus past participle. That's the golden rule. Tattoo it on your memory.
Or tattoo it on your arm, or on your dog. Though Max would be annoyed if someone tried to write grammar on him.
Please don't write grammar on animals. Official advice from the English Hub. But yes, this structure works for yes-no questions, WH questions like where, how, why, etc.
Right, because in WH questions, the WH word simply goes before the inversion. For example, where have you been? How has he managed that?
Exactly. And notice the auxiliary still comes right after the WH word, not after the subject. Learners often do this, where you have been. That's actually a common mistake in Slavic languages.
Another popular one, inserting did into present perfect questions. Where did you have gone? That's like mixing two different tenses into one grammatical smoothie. Not recommended.
Right. Present perfect is proudly independent. It doesn't need did. So let's give our listeners a few example questions, short and long.
Short questions. Have you finished? Has he arrived? Have they left?
Longer, more detailed questions. Have you ever tried cooking sushi at home? Has your sister already taken the exam you told me about? Have they been working on this project for a long time?
And let me add one more tip. When you're unsure, just ask yourself, can I put have or has at the beginning? If yes, probably present perfect. If no, you're thinking of another tense.
Beautiful. And the last fun fact, in spoken English, short present perfect questions are incredibly common in everyday life. Things like, have you eaten? Have you seen my keys? Have we met before? So mastering these makes your English much more natural.
And your life much easier. Trust me, if you can ask questions correctly, half the battle with present perfect is won.
Absolutely. So dear listeners, remember, have, has, plus subject plus past participle. Stick to the formula, avoid did, don't move the subject to the front, and you're golden.
All right, what's next on our grammar adventure?
Next, we will talk about something super important. The keywords, or as I like to call them, the best friends of the present perfect. These are the little clues in a sentence that help you instantly recognize, aha, this is present perfect territory. Because unlike some other tenses, present perfect doesn't tell us a specific time, no dates, no exact moments. Instead, it gives us a connection between the past and the present, and these special words point to that connection. So here are the most popular present perfect indicators. Ever, never, already, yet, just, recently, lately, so far, up to now, until now, for, since, how long, still, in negative sentences. These words are like the VIP guests of the present perfect party. Whenever one of them shows up, you probably need this tense.
Yeah, they're like neon signs flashing, present perfect processed here. Let's give some examples so our listeners can see them in action. Ever, never. We use these to talk about experience, things in your life up to this moment. Have you ever tried skydiving? I've never seen a tiger in real life. Already shows that something happened earlier than expected. I've already finished my homework. Yet, used in questions and negative sentences, meaning until now. Have you finished yet? I haven't eaten yet.
And then we have our time duration heroes, for and since, absolute legends. For plus a period of time, 2 days, 5 minutes, years, a long time. Since plus a specific point in time, 2010, Monday, Christmas, yesterday, 8 a.m. Examples, I've lived here for 10 years. She has worked at that company since 2021. These phrases help show the ongoing effect or duration right up to now.
And don't forget the life progress counters. So far, up to now, until now. They show progress from the past until this moment. We've recorded 3 episodes so far. They haven't made any decisions up to now. Just means something happened a moment ago. He has just left. Recently, lately. Something happened not long ago. I've been very busy lately.
So why are these keywords important? Because present perfect doesn't give a clear time marker like yesterday or last week. Those belong to past simple. Instead, present perfect uses context markers that show experience, result in the present, connection to now, duration. When you hear them, your brain should instantly activate present perfect loading.
And remember, if you see last year, in 2004, yesterday, when I was a kid, that's not present perfect. That's past simple's territory. So don't mix them or they'll start fighting like hungry seagulls over a French fry.
David, why are you always talking about food?
Because I have just realized I'm hungry again. See what I did there? Present perfect plus time marker. Boom.
Perfect demonstration. So listeners, keep an eye on these keywords. They'll guide you like grammar GPS. All right, ready to jump into the next part?
Yes, and next, and the last one part is something that might hurt a little bit, common mistakes and typical confusions with the present perfect. Because let's be honest, many English learners are struggling not because the tense is super complicated, but because it's so easy to confuse it with other tenses, especially past simple.
Yes, one of the most common mistakes is using present perfect with a specific past time marker, like, I have seen that movie yesterday. That's incorrect because yesterday is a finished time. The correct version is, I saw that movie yesterday.
So the rule is simple. If you mention when in the past it happened, use past simple. If the time is not important or not specified and the result is still connected to now, present perfect. For example, I've broken my phone. It's broken now result. I broke my phone last week. Just a fact in the past.
Absolutely. And another confusion is between present perfect and present perfect continuous. Students often ask, which one should I use? Here's the idea. Present perfect focuses on the result. Present perfect continuous focuses on the process or duration.
For example, I've cleaned the house. The result, it's clean now. I've been cleaning the house for 3 hours. The process, I'm tired, still working maybe.
So if the action is finished and the result matters, present perfect. If the action is long, repetitive, or still happening, present perfect continuous.
Another typical mistake is forgetting the auxiliary verb has or have. Students say things like, I seen this movie. She done her homework. They never try sushi.
All of these need have or has plus past participle. I have seen this movie. She has done her homework. They have never tried sushi.
And sometimes people use the base form instead of the past participle. He has wrote a letter. No. He has written a letter. Yes. So please remember, participles matter. They are like the cheese in a pizza. Without them, the whole thing collapses emotionally.
Oh, yes. And one more mistake, mixing yet already with the wrong decision in a sentence. Correct, have you finished yet? I haven't finished yet. I've already finished. Typical mistake, I already have finished, sounds strange and unnatural.
So already usually comes between have, has, and the main verb, yet goes at the end. So how not to get confused? Here are a few pieces of advice. Look for time markers. If you hear yesterday, last year, when, think past simple. If you hear ever, never, already, yet, just, for, since, think present perfect.
Ask yourself, do I care about the result now? If yes, present perfect. Ask, is the action still continuing? If yes, maybe present perfect continuous.
Don't panic. Seriously, it's just grammar, not a tiger chasing you through the jungle, although sometimes students look like that in class.
Totally. And remember, practice is the best way not to confuse anything. Listen to native speakers, read, and try using this tense in your own real-life speech. Talk about your experiences, your results, your achievements, your life timeline.
Exactly. And if you mix things up, don't worry. Even native speakers do sometimes. Just keep trying, and one day you'll say confidently, I've mastered the present perfect.
All right, friends, we are coming to the end of today's cozy and powerful grammar adventure. And before we say goodbye, let's quickly remember the most important idea about the present perfect tense.
Present perfect is all about the connection between the past and the present. We use it when we care about the result now, when the exact time is not important, and when we speak about life experience, changes, achievements, or actions that continue until now. If you remember that simple idea, you're already halfway to mastery.
Look for the key words like already, yet, ever, never, just, for, since, so far, recently, lately. They are your helpers, your grammar GPS, your friendly guides. They whisper, hey, choose present perfect.
And don't stress if you make mistakes. Everyone does. English is a journey, not an exam room. Enjoy the progress, celebrate small victories, and one day you'll suddenly say, wow, I've really improved. And that, my friends, will also be present perfect.
Thank you for spending this time with us today. Whether you listened while walking your dog, cooking dinner, doing homework, or falling asleep, we're honored to join your day and help you grow your English skills.
So now, dear listeners, we warmly invite you to show some love and support to keep this project alive and growing. If you enjoyed this episode, hit the like button, subscribe to the English Hub, and share this podcast with your friends, classmates, colleagues, or on social media. Maybe someone needs a friendly explanation of present perfect right now.
And tell us in the comments, What is something you have done recently? Use present perfect, of course. We'll read your answers and maybe even share them in the next episode.
Yes, don't be shy. We would love to hear from you. And remember, grammar can be fun, friendly, tasty, and full of life, just like today's episode. Speaking of tasty, I have just remembered something. There's a burger place across the street calling my name.
Go get it, Chef David. Healthy cooking tomorrow, right?
Absolutely. Tomorrow. Definitely. 100%. For sure.
Thank you for being with us here in our cozy studio in Los Angeles, California. You're amazing, you're improving, and we're proud of you. Take care, stay curious, keep practicing, and we'll meet again very soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, take care.